You heard it here first.
Yeah, same thing with Steph too.
That would be the ultimate.
We're talking to you too, Steph.
Oh yeah, shoot!
Shout out to Steph.
Yeah. We're getting all the young
Steph Curry is still
Shoot your shot.
another free agent that we've got to decide if we're bringing him back.
Steph?
Yeah.
I actually like Steph now because now we
I
got
like him, but
Dennis
he's
Smith at the 1.
I think Doug
what's his
McDermott
face?
takes his spot, though. You know what I mean? Like, he's provided the instant offense role from the bench. That's what I think we cut ties.
He, Dwight Powell, and Yogi Ferrell as like a committee have kind of taken.
Yeah.
And the good thing about it was a real bummer to not be able to see Seth Curry and Dennis Smith Jr. play side by side this season. That was one of the things I was probably most excited to see this year was how they could play off each other offensively, and him being injured really it got us into the lottery. It got us Doncic, but it kind of puts his future up in the air.
Yeah, he was one of the few bright spots the year we were losing on purpose.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the year we got Dennis Smith Jr. was the year that we got to see Seth Curry really like kind of take over and put up.
It was the year before, right?
It was the year before, yeah. It was the year before,
yeah.
But it was the year that we got to see. It's like, oh shoot, we got like with him. That was also the year that we discovered Yogi Ferrell could play.
Yeah.
And we had this.
I wonder
whole
if
crop
Brunson cuts into Yogi's minutes, or they.
I mean, if we keep JJ,
I can see him being
if
on
we
the court
get
together.
Devin Harris back, then definitely.
You don't want to have two small guys on the court, usually.
I mean, it felt like we did pretty often last year.
Yeah, but we were trying to lose last year.
Yeah,
we don't want to
you're right,
repeat
you're
the.
I will say
know.
this. I think it takes some of the ball handling pressure off Yogi, and maybe some of the scoring and facilitating pressure. Because there were a lot of times last year where I felt like Yogi was doing too much. Like it was like
he was forced to.
Yeah, exactly. He was in a position where
he
was coming off the bench. He had Dwight, and he had.
If Dwight wasn't open for the alley oop,
and there was a lot of like Yogi, love ya, all about the Yogi mania, but. He was forcing it a lot last year. So hopefully this year
he was not in ideal situations, but I'm still excited about him. I think that he could be a good Maverick for a while.
Yeah, I think he's the
he fits our culture.
He's the JJ Barea of the future. He's the
seriously. Yeah. Him and Brunson can be like JJ apprentices.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. You had a topic that was a tad more serious.
Off of the purely basketball and off the court.
All right,
this is the beyond, I guess, but still buckets.
Yeah.
Still relevant.
Talk buckets now. We're going beyond buckets.
Whatever. Look, they acting brand new. I was thinking about. I was wondering about the sexual assault allegations, man. It just seems like all that just disappeared, and I've always thought it was a little bizarre how little hype it got. How little Mark Cuban's rep seemed to like be questioned. I'm a little. I mean, he did kind of like. I think he responded well. I think the organization responded well.
They hired the new CEO. She's
hired a new CEO.
She's a champ. That was the biggest switch really in culture was hiring her. I don't know her name off the top of my head.
I think they're currently. I think the NBA is still conducting like an investigation.
Okay.
So it'll crop up once they
finish
and wrap that up.
It is discouraging as a fan though.
Yeah, that was really
because I think Mark Cuban has this public persona of like, oh, like he's such a lovable guy and all this. Like he really cares about his businesses. He's super passionate about the Mavs. Not all that's true. Was he aware of all of this or some of this? I think what is most discouraging is like one of the public personalities, Earl K. Sneed, who was like dating one of the people I think, and he physically abused her.
Yeah,
that sickens me that he still had a job after that. I don't have a sister, but I feel like
it was
poorly handled.
Definitely handled poorly.
And it's not like Earl K. Sneed offered a whole lot. Like it's not like he had, oh, he's such a great personality. Everybody loves him. Like he's not like Chris Arnold. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah, but I mean, regardless of how good or important a person is to an organization, if that's happening, like
you gotta cut it off.
Yeah, they don't deserve to be working for your organization or for your company. need help, they might need. I mean, they might need to be brought to justice. But
and that, to me, that was the most because I guess since that person was more in the forefront, more obvious in front of
more
everybody,
visible.
that was just really sickening to me personally.
Yeah.
And the other one with former CEO who was just saying terrible things and just like trying to.
Well, and just bad workplace culture.
Yeah,
like, I mean, to hear that women in the Mavs organization felt like they weren't safe, or they were in an office culture that didn't validate them or treated them like shit. That was probably the most discouraging. And to think that Mark Cuban, however involved or knowledgeable, was that the organization itself failed. You see the Mavericks organization struggling sometimes, or succeeding so much on the basketball court, or not succeeding, but you assume the best when it comes to the operational side.
And the bright spot in the story is that all these women who reported instances where they were, audibly or physically or sexually abused, or the bright spot of it was that the players had nothing to do with it. And that's sad for me.
The players were a bright spot.
They were like,
they were.
The locker room was the safe place, not the office.
That made me feel better because I've been around a lot of these players for different events, like the Arrows game, and we've been behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So
love that video about that.
We got a picture. Check that out on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
It's me in the background and.
Zeke.
Take a picture with Zeke.
Me and my acting like groupies.
He was more than I was. But
he was at work. I was at work too. I should have been at work.
I was trying to swerve out of the picture, but couldn't. Anyway, but off topic. It makes me feel better that we're essentially hiring employees who play basketball that are good. Are people that
good human beings
that you can be around and not worry about this one's gonna do this. I wouldn't leave my sister around this person, and that makes me feel better because that's kind of really who I'm rooting for. I'm not rooting for the office or anything, but it is really sad that this even occurred in a sports organization behind the scenes. And I've heard all this stuff the sports play. Sports is not the best place for women to be. That is not an excuse for any of this to have happened, and I think that nobody's making that excuse. And nobody should be. What I'm just saying is that not just in the NBA, in America, that is beyond all uncalled for.
Yeah.
And just abhorrible, or just terrible. And we just shouldn't.
Abhorrible.
Abhorrent.
Abhorrible. We're
making new words.
Yeah.
No, but to be completely serious, it's sickening. And you can obviously pray for these people. You can hope that they're not so scarred that they can't return to their jobs. Hopefully, but it's another reminder we live in a broken world, and you have to as we get caught up with I wonder if the Mavs are going to get a top pick or whatever. That is not that
there
important.
There are other things that matter too.
That in the entirety of what is going on in planet Earth. So just to kind of rethink this lady was going through this.
More important,
let's be there for her. Let's pray for her. Let's
more important than having a winning organization is having a good organization, or an organization that acts.
That was the shorter way to say what I said.
No, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. So it'll be interesting to see what the NBA's investigation bears out.
And I don't think, I don't think Adam Silver is going to hold back. I don't think he should. And if he needs to take Mark Cuban away from the team because he might have known this or that, I'm for it.
Whatever. I think whatever.
We should not be arguing any punishment that comes our way. That's what I mean, regardless of whether it's picks or salary, or I don't care what it is. I don't think we should.
I think the most important thing is whatever structural changes that needed to be made are being made within the organization.
And it's not going to happen overnight.
To make sure that type of situation doesn't occur.
It needed to be addressed.
And when it does, it is addressed appropriately.
Because we all, whether we like our jobs or not, there's stuff that people get away with, and we don't want to bring it to the surface, but God bless the ladies that did, because they knew that they weren't in a safe place and they told somebody about it, and that's really brave to step out like that against like a multi-million million-dollar organization.
Yeah. So
it's just I don't know. Mark Cuban, man, I don't know. I feel like if I owned an organization, like I would have like I don't know, done a little like maybe had a
I think with his situation, because he's obviously got in trouble for saying too much.
Yeah.
He would probably say too much and say like a wrong thing. People misinterpret that and then spin it the wrong way, and he knows that he doesn't trust me. He wants to say a whole lot, I'm sure, but CEO's like, shut up, like don't say anything, like don't tweet anything regarding this situation. Don't start like don't get into it really.
Yeah, I'm sure they had like a lot of professionals all over that, PR people and such. But yeah, I don't know, man. That was really bizarre to me how
it was really random.
It was just blew up, and then I kind of think the tanking. It seems like the tanking comments were a bigger deal.
Well, yeah, he actually didn't Mark Cuban actually get fined for tanking?
Yeah.
He said that they were losing on purpose.
Yeah.
On a podcast with Dr. J, and I just think it's funny that.
Yeah, but it does show kind of the misplaced priorities that we run into in sports, where like losing is punished more harshly than sexual assault allegations.
Because think about it, who's watching the games? Yeah. Who's watching the games is guys that might practice the same thing at work,
Yeah.
So it
all fits into
it's a man's world, and
that doesn't value people.
But it wouldn't be nothing.
It was a rough season both on the court and off, because I remember having like the only time the Dallas Mavericks were newsworthy last year was when the Sports Illustrated article came out. Like the one time we were in Sports Illustrated for anything. It wasn't for anything on the court. It wasn't like Dennis Smith Jr. is like Rookie of the Year sensation. It was some bad shit's been going down in the Mavericks organization. So hopefully, whatever the investigation pulls forward, the Mavs can move forward with or without Mark Cuban. I don't see him going anywhere. But
I just think they need. I think to set an example that more than likely he's going to get slapped on the wrist pretty hard.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I would not be surprised if it's a sizable fine, because you're hurting the image of the league at that point. It's not even just your team.
Yeah. I will say the NBA, I think, has done a far better job than a lot of the other sports leagues around the country when it comes to. I mean, the NFL has not dealt with it, or
owners in the
dealt
NFL
with
are
it.
Very not woke.
Not
woke at all.
Strangely, I think the MLB, Major League Baseball, has been completely devoid of really any. Like the only drug issues they have are performance-enhancing drugs, PEDs.
Are less of an issue. Like, it's kind of crazy how rampant that used to be, and like it's not even really a thing anymore. But it really hurt the sport. Yeah.
But I mean, good on the NBA.
There's some people that want it to come back.
For taking.
Who wants steroids back in baseball? Not enough scoring.
I got an interesting bit about that. I think one day we're gonna have just. You're already laughing at me, man. Already clowning my
I think you told me this already, actually.
I think that's like we're gonna sports are about to be like, all right, well, it's part of the sport's gonna be who could use drugs the best. who can
perform the best with the most drugs?
Like, no, because if teams these teams are making more and more money. Like, kids want to be professional athletes now. Like, the size of the market for these like leagues are getting bigger and bigger, and when you think about the 40s and 50s, like think about the NBA and from the 40s to the 60s, man.
60s and 70s they used NBA. Most players used cocaine.
Nah, but most players had side jobs. Most players had jobs.
In the early days of the league.
But what I'm saying is like that there was a rampant like drug problem in the league, like in the 70s and 60s.
Oh. Like,
I think that was recreation, not performance enhancers, but
I think we far evolved. If you're doing cocaine, you're not gonna make the team. Like,
Daryl Strawberry.
No, I'm just telling you. You need that book, the book of basketball, right there. It talks about some of the history of some guys who got triple doubles.
Really?
Or
Will
performing
Chamberlain
out of their
was probably
mind.
hung over 90% of the games that he.
But he's
scored
so
40 or
athletically
more.
gifted, and he's
Yeah.
the only person that's taller than 6 feet. It's not really a hard game for him.
Here's what I'm trying to get at, though. We're saying all this, but the game, that's where the game has changed the most. Is because now you got players like LeBron who spend all the money they can on their health. So I think once everybody's a LeBron in the league,
I feel you there because I think you compare 20 years ago in the 90s.
Medically taking care of your body.
Or the way medicine has changed, the way diets have changed, the way physical fitness has changed. You have more players and more people that are athletically gifted, but are also physical specimens that take care of their body to another level that you didn't see in the 80s or 90s. You had the bad boys in Detroit, or you had players that they were goons and rough around the edges. They were just mean, hard-nosed players that could shoot the ball maybe, but they weren't freaks.
In amazing
They
shape.
weren't freaks athletically.
Yeah.
And now I think you picked up on especially in the NBA, everybody across the board. You can't be overweight and play in this NBA.
Yeah.
You're gonna get
to Big Baby Davis.
Okay, Glenn Baby Davis.
Kendrick Perkins.
Okay, you're talking about guys that are
Shaquille
on their way out,
O'Neal.
on their way out. But Shaquille was
washed up.
Draymond Green.
Draymond Green can play 1 through. He can defend 1 through 5. He's not overweight.
He's bad.
All the Warriors smoke.
Okay, if Draymond, the only performance drug in the NBA.
Now
is
they're definitely smoking weed.
That's the only real performance.
They're
Yeah.
probably smoking right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I think we went off base for sure,
took
but
that really
that was
far.
good
Hey,
stuff.
we cover everything. The Beyond covers drugs, sexual assault, harassment, other sports leagues.
And
We're not afraid to have this conversation.
Nah, this is a good comeback.
Buckets
and we got a big season.
with the Goon. Glad to have
Thanks
you
for having me. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, it was fun.
Welcome.
It was good. It was good. Yeah.
All right. I'm Jay Bonnie.
What is
That's
that?
Ben
doing
Seibel.
the bird thing.
They're doing something.
This is Andrew Bennett. May or may not be here next time. So
We'll just let the intro
Okay.
die.
Thanks,
We'll just forget
Atlanta.
about the outro, let the
All right.
We
outro.
appreciate you giving us Donnie with the sickness.
sorry about Trae Young. Just gonna say that now.
Our condolences.
Sorry, not sorry.
All right,
This
we're
was
out.
fun, guys. Yeah. Wait.